If you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. I want you to take a look at your life and ask yourself, is everything that's happening to me by my design? You see, most people fail to realize that everything is their fault, regardless of what happens in their life. And there's two reasons that I'm going to get into very shortly to talk about this. But there's a quote by someone that kind of sums up this idea perfectly. And it's something along the lines of, the amount of money you have, the quality of people you date, the kind of car you drive, and your habits are all a manifestation of your standards. What this means is the life you choose to live dictates the certain consequences that come along with it. And a lot of you are going to be like, yeah, duh, that kind of makes sense. But a lot of you have actually forgotten you have the power to make choices, which is the first reason everything's your fault. Think about it this way. How many times have you just grabbed your phone and started doom scrolling? Would you say that was an active choice of yours? Or how many times have you tried to recall what happened during your week and you realize that you can't even do that because all the days were blended together? Would you say how your week was spent an active choice of yours? So robotic that you can't even think about what happened. This is what I mean by you forgot you have the power to choose. But how do we forget something so powerful in the first place? Through something called learned helplessness. To put this into perspective, in an experiment, there was two groups of dogs. They were placed in harnesses that shocked them. The first group of dogs were able to press a lever that stopped the shocking, and the second group of dogs, the lever did not work for them at all. Then those same dogs were placed onto a floor mat, one side shocking them and the other side not. The first group of dogs jumped over to the other side almost immediately, but the second group of dogs just stayed on the electrified side of the floor. Why? Because they didn't know they had a choice. This is why most people suffer. We were told from the beginning that if you want to live a great life, you have to go to college, you have to get a college degree, and then you have to get a job and stay at that job until you are 65, and then you can spend maybe the next 25-ish years of your life living. A lot of people are on this path right now, and they have no idea that this was not by their design. This choice was made for them, not by them. A lot of people don't seem to grasp that there's more to life than just repeating the same things for the next 40 to 50 years. But the fact that you're watching a video like this tells me that you know that there's more and that you want more. You want full autonomy over your life and the choices that you get to make. And before I get into telling you how to do that exactly, let me go over the second reason why everything is your fault. Your self-image limits you to what you are capable of doing. All of your actions, feelings, behaviors, and abilities are who you currently are. Your self-image is nothing but a series of events, successes, failures, traumas, and conditionings that were experienced through living. So if you really want to live, you need to first build a life that's satisfying towards you. And you need to become someone that you're 100% absolutely not ashamed of being. So let me show you how to do that. As I've mentioned, everything is tied down to the choices that you proactively make and the image you have of yourself. Without those two things in mind, nothing in life changes. So let's get to the root of the problem. What do you think about yourself? Do these beliefs about you serve you, or do they decay your life force? You aren't where you want to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to watch this video. So be completely honest with yourself right now. What's holding you back? A lot of you are going to say, oh, well, it's time, it's money, lack of knowledge, etc. But we all know that there's people that have gone through literal hell that have such beautiful lives now. So what's your excuse? Truly, you have none. You don't have excuses, not valid ones at least. You have self-limiting beliefs. And truthfully, every belief is self-limiting, but you right now are in the wrong box. If you say you're a millionaire, you are still putting a self-limiting belief on yourself. You're just in a better limit. But if you call yourself a failure, you are also putting yourself in a box, just in a worse one. So what we need to do is transition yourself from the bad box to the good box. The first thing that you need to do is list your fears. This is where your self-image stops developing and you start making blind choices. Because as I've said before, your self-image is encompassed of the things that you've gone through, not the things that you're not willing to go through simply out of fear. List out the things that you're fearful of, not because of common sense, but because it's new to you or you don't think you'll be successful at it. This could be anything, whether it's asking out a person or starting a business idea or planning a solo trip. It could be anything. And then once you realize your fear, push slightly past it. You could start off by saying hello to strangers and asking them how their day was. Or you could watch videos to generate business ideas. The truth is, you just need to get your foot in the door. You need to do this because fear stems from not knowing the outcome. If I told you the results of everything you pursue would have a positive outcome, would you fear it then? I'd hope not. In order to start feeling alive, you need results. Think back to a moment where you went into something blind and you had no idea what was going to happen, but you enjoyed it. But originally thought it was going to be the worst thing of your life. Having that initial fear and then embracing it head on without going too deep into it felt amazing, right? So let's chase that feeling again. List out your fears, which is just the end of your self-image. And if you don't know your fears, try to consciously think about times where you feel anxious. And whenever you feel anxious in a current moment, that is when you know you are at the end of your self-image. That you are, if you continue down this route, you will pursue something that you've never done before. You are walking into the unknown. When you realize this, live in the moment, feeling your fear without trying to run from it. This is where that feeling of being alive comes from, because you're thinking, man, so many things could go wrong, but I'm doing it anyways. You are literally watching the unknown unfold right in front of you, challenging you. Own it completely. If you want to build a life worth talking about, you need to start living and face your fears head on. But don't be so aggressive when it comes to that, because you will place yourself off balance. Just be right in the middle where you're embracing it, but you're not being lazy. And you're not trying to crush that fear completely into the ground. Just somewhere in the middle, so you know that you're still living. You're living in the moment. You're not trying to push past it, and you're not trying to run away from it. Just be right there. Promise yourself from this day on, and promise me as well, from this day on, you will embrace fear and not run from it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Wonder if you know what it means, what it means to find your dreams come true.